Hi guys, it's Third Inspector here. Welcome back to the mining show. This is day 2. Today we're just going to be going over some articles and maybe some news in the mining space. So we're going to be doing this daily if you didn't know, and stick around every day for this mining show. It's basically news on crypto mining and what's in the space right now for you guys to get into. So the first story that we have coming in here is one from Reddit, which is obviously that people are shutting down their mining rigs. It says here, finally there's no show and tell posts. Everyone is too busy shutting down their rigs. Historically maybe a milestone loss maybe. And then is the HODL consensus collapsing? It just goes on to say in the comments, stuff about, yeah, people are shutting down but not me, just because their price of electricity is lower. And then we have another post that just says, officially powered down my mining rig. It's costing more to mine than it makes right now to clean up my rig to do some maintenance. Maybe buy some really cheap cards and then pick up the next algorithm, pending the merge. Then again, if the merge gets delayed, I'll start mining Ethereum once the price returns to the normal levels again. So we've seen a lot of this over the past probably like 2 weeks or so, just because electricity prices are going up and Ethereum's price is dipping down. So the profitability in Ethereum mining right now is really in the dirt. We did also see in a couple videos before this that Ergo is actually the most profitable coin to mine right now, bringing in like 1 cent a day or something if you're on 0.24 kilowatt per hour. So if you want to actually make some profits and you've got low electricity costs, I'd start mining Ergo. So the second thing that we have, the second story that we have, is the reckoning the best time to enter Bitcoin mining as firms diversify. So it just says here that some Bitcoin and crypto miners are working to diversify their operations amid the bear market, trying to gain revenue streams unrelated to mining. At the same time, the current market reveals who has been conservative and who's been aping, or just, holding and selling stuff. Speaking in the online panel discussion hosted by European digital asset investment firm, the firm has taken steps as employing yield generation strategies on Bitcoin it holds in its inventory, earning anywhere from 2% to 4% on about 2,000 Bitcoin held in an inventory, which is great. So basically, if you didn't know, you can actually yield farm on any coin. I think Gate.io has the best kind of thing for this, where you offer up your coins to be borrowed. So you say you have like 3 Bitcoin or whatever. Let's say you're rich and you have 3 Bitcoin, and somebody needs to borrow Bitcoin for leverage or for buying something. You can loan it to them and then ask for a percentage back after 30 days. So what they do is they loan out the Bitcoin. Let's say it's just like 1 Bitcoin. It's like $40,000, no, $20,000 now, sorry. You loan out 1 Bitcoin and then they pay you like 4% back at the end of 30 days. So this is what this company's been doing. Because their mining is getting, low, they're just trying to get percentages out of this Bitcoin that they've mined. Entering the market reckoning. Commenting on how the current bear market is affecting miners, this person said that we are now entering the reckoning where there's going to be a very clear who has been conservative and who has been aping into mining. So basically, who has actually, been aware of selling and, buying GPUs or ASIC miners. So if you're clever, you would have started selling as the drop was coming off. So you sell 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, and just come off the, the decline. But you're still taking profits on the decline. Then it just goes to say you really need to take a long-term view on this and not get super excited just because prices are ripping or mining is hyper profitable. You kind of look at some averages and see whether or not you can tackle the worst conditions. So as I said, you got to have a strategy in place for that. Prices are reduced on everything and you can really build a strategy that lasts. For example, CleanSpark, a Nasdaq listed Bitcoin miner, announced it has taken over an existing purchasing contract for 1800 Antminer S19 XP mining hardware units. So those are just ASIC miners, there are pretty good ASIC miners, but so this company, this Nasdaq company, is taking a contract off probably a Bitcoin mining farm to get into Bitcoin mining. We are able to secure the contract at an acceptable price because of our strategic relationship with the unique circumstances that the current market conditions have created. So because Bitcoin's low right now, people don't really want to buy into the contract, so the people who own the contract are selling it for less. Large miners will start to panic, dumping Bitcoin bags. Nature is healing, survival of the fittest. Haters will use it as an opportunity to spread concerns about mining death spiral. Death spiral won't happen, miners consolidate, Bitcoin will be fine. So yeah, when you really think about it, the only way that exchanges and stuff can actually get Bitcoin is from miners. You know, this is never going to happen because people always want to make profits, but if all Bitcoin miners held their Bitcoin and didn't give any to exchanges, the Bitcoin's price would go way up because nobody could get a hold of Bitcoin. The supply and demand of it would be very high. But obviously that's not going to happen, and you know, there are some scumbag miners out there who will always want to make profits. So these people that hold in the Bitcoin right now are going to be way better off in the future than selling it right now. Let's get into the next story about Bitcoin mining in Nigeria. So Nigeria is actually like not a wealthy nation, but it also has an inflation problem right now, as we'll see in this article. The purpose of this work is to present a quick, concise, however insightful elucidation across the financial meltdown and environmental degradation in Nigeria, whereas additionally proposing Bitcoin mining to be a renewable power source as an answer to these issues. So it goes over how Bitcoin mining is a method of making new coins, what hardware it is, like what actually Bitcoin mining is, and then it goes over the financial system of Nigeria. So basically they've had growing inflation, you know, like they've had hyperinflation for the last 3 years. Nigeria is ranked the 23rd amongst 47 nations in the sub-Saharan Africa area. It just goes on to see their GDP and stuff like that. Fixing carbon emission hasn't performed out as a precedence for the federal government agenda in Nigeria, but as demonstrated by the increasing levels of carbon emissions there, carbon dioxide emissions stem from the burning of fossil fuels, obviously. Nigeria has the required infrastructure, local weather experience, and in addition to human capital, to make the most of renewable power sources. So yeah, Nigeria has a lot of sun, obviously, so they could take advantage of that. There are actually a lot of African countries that use solar power, and there is a company called the Solar Exchange, which I've made a video on in the past, which is basically where you buy solar panels for like businesses, schools and stuff in Africa, and they pay you out a percentage of your electricity in Bitcoin. So they're basically taking this money and paying us out in Bitcoin, and they're also using half of the electricity to power schools and local businesses, just to help the economy. So Nigeria could be implementing this for their Bitcoin. And it just goes over here, their vital sources for Nigeria. You know, you have hydro, fuel, hydro, fuel. So it's looking like a lot of it is fuel at the moment, obviously, because it does cost a lot to get the actual infrastructure for solar panels. Bitcoin mining powered by renewable vitality is the future of Nigeria. The mining information exhibits that a new hybrid mannequin for Bitcoin mining has emerged. Bitcoin miners can simply purchase power from renewable power suppliers when power is considerable, or create a non-public construction and capital round in production power for inexperienced and renewable energies as part of their setup prices. So this is basically just saying they could be doing this because if they're mining Bitcoin, they'll be getting money in from Bitcoin, and then, you know, if they get a loan, say for the solar panels, they could pay that loan off easily because they're basically getting money for free. So any Bitcoin mined, the only thing that you have to worry about is the solar panels and the ASIC miners. So, you know, we've seen this in like places like El Salvador. They're trying to get everyone to use Bitcoin because of the inflation rate, and they're trying to get people to have Bitcoin wallets and they spend Bitcoin in shops. They do this by using a thing called micro Bitcoin, where you just like take Bitcoin and then divide it by 1,000, and that gives you how much micro Bitcoin. So that Bitcoin obviously will hedge against inflation in their country because it will be worth way more. So everyone's starting to use Bitcoin in El Salvador. So it could work out for Nigeria. Maybe they'll think about doing it, but who knows. Next story coming in is a look at the New York crypto mining bill. Obviously we talked about this yesterday, how the mayor wants to, no it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before that, how the mayor actually is against this bill now. So it just goes into what is cryptocurrency mining. They always do this on these articles by Crypto News BTC. They always put what is crypto mining currency, like everyone knows, you don't have to put it on every article. So it just says that what occurs to crypto miners in New York. New York isn't a primary locale to debate on ban on crypto mining. The truth is, all of the nation of China effectively banned cryptocurrency mining in a sweeping referendum that had a serious effect on the cryptocurrency markets. What's the distinction between proof of work, proof of stake? Can governments outlaw this? And then this last part I want to focus on is, it says, whereas restrictions on cryptocurrency mining usually are not supreme for the crypto neighborhood, this regulation is a win for the environmental advocates of New York. If this legislation is handed, then there's a probability that some miners will shift to sustainable energy sources. Some will transfer out of state and some will shut down for good. Because of the distributed nature of cryptocurrency, all the ecosystem isn't at risk and may solely see gentle impacts if the legislation passes. If this legislation does pass, I don't think what they're predicting will actually happen. Firstly, what's going to happen is any big miner that's in the New York state is just going to move to Texas because it's way more profitable just to move there if they're coming in with this mining bill. Residential miners, such as small miners, that are mining on GPUs, maybe 50, 60 GPUs, they won't be affected by this bill either. So it's only these in between, massive farms and residential miners that are actually going to be affected by this. And it says here that some will transfer out of state, some will shift to renewable energy sources, and some will shut down for good. Firstly, none of them are going to shut down for good, they're just going to all move to Texas. Secondly, they're not going to look for sustainable energy sources in the state, they'll just move to Texas. Because they have sustainable energy sources like solar, like burn off fuel there. Personally, it doesn't really matter to New York what happens because they're just trying to reduce their carbon emissions output. So whichever looks good on paper is great, but it'll just go over to Texas. So effectively, you're not really moving any carbon emissions. It's just staying in the same country, but you're just shifting it out from your books, that says, oh, we're down 15% to Texas books saying they're up 15%. I want to finish off with this last story about an NFT collection backed by Bitcoin mining. Offers alternative to hype drops. Obviously, I don't really believe in NFTs. Some of the projects are good that they offer something else with the NFT, like going to clubs or going to, meetings that you can only get in with this NFT. That offers value to this NFT, so you can sell it. An NFT project says it's truly redefining what it means to collect digital art. Meta Ape Milita also is a crypto collectible. Deliver much more than an epic profile picture. For starters, the ecosystem is being underpinned by Bitcoin mining operations. It says here proud owners of this NFT can also gain access to exclusive experiences in the metaverse, so yeah, it's got to offer something. The project's founders say that they have a long history in Bitcoin mining and currently own a company called the Bitcoin Asset Group that handles this NFT's mining needs. Describing what motivated them to kick off this NFT collection, the team said they have a deep love for crypto and non-fungible tokens, obviously because they're miners, they know the background. If they say they're actual miners, we don't know whether to trust them or not. But, if you have a mining background, normally you tend to be a person that's kind of level-headed. And, NFTs, you see them as a scam, basically. But I'd be open to buying one of these just because it is backed by a Bitcoin mining group. So that's it for the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy this mining show episode, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. All links for articles are in the description below if you want to check them out.